Roald Dahl, September 13th, 1916 to November 23rd, 1990. Roald Dahl was born in Llandaff, Wales. He had a difficult childhood. His father and a sibling died pretty early, and he was left to be raised by his mother. He was one of 6 siblings. She decided to ship him off to a boarding school, and it was said that he was very mischievous and always getting into trouble. His mother offered to pay for him to go to university, but he was insistent on getting a job and traveling. His first job was working for an oil company in Africa. From there, he went on to join the Royal Air Force, where he became a fighter pilot. He served in World War II. However, he suffered a horrible spine and neck injury in a plane crash in Egypt. From there, he transferred to Washington, D.C., where he supplied intelligence to the American government. In the U.S., he met his first wife, an American actress named Patricia Neal. They were married for 30 years and had 5 children together. One of Dahl's sons, Theo, suffered a severe brain injury during a car accident. He did not survive. However, Dahl collaborated with a surgeon and a toy maker to make the Wade Dahl Till shunt. Since then, it has saved thousands, or been used to treat thousands of children. Dahl's writing began when he was a young adult. He wrote mainly for adults. He had several short story collections and a couple of novels. However, when he married and started to have children, he became a children's author. I have a quote here. Dahl's writing is darkly funny and staunchly loyal to a child's sense of fairness, magic, and revenge. His writing is somewhat controversial. It can be said that it is unsentimental, macabre, and has a dark comic mood, and usually has villainous adults. However, the children in his stories are very relatable and go through adventures and heartwarming characters. These are some of the works that Dahl wrote as for adults. One thing that I found interesting is that he was a screenplay writer, and he wrote the screenplay for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was turned into a movie, and You Only Live Twice, which is a James Bond, part of the James Bond franchise. Over the course of his life, he wrote 19 children's books, several which have been turned into movies. Some of the more notable ones, James and the Giant Peach, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which has had 2 movie remakes, The Fantastic Mr. Fox, The BFG, The Witches, which is my personal favorite, and Matilda. Along with children's books, he has written some poetry, The Dentist and the Crocodile, The Pig, The Tummy Beast. I'm going to read The Dentist and the Crocodile, as it is one of my favorite poems. The Dentist and the Crocodile by Roald Dahl. The crocodile, with cunning smile, sat in the dentist's chair. He said, "Right here and everywhere my teeth require repair." The dentist's face was turning white. He quivered, quaked, and shook. He muttered, "I suppose I'm going to have to take a look." "I want you," Crocodile declared, "to do the back ones first. The molars at the very back are easily the worst." He opened wide his massive jaws. It was a fearsome sight. At least 300 pointed teeth, all sharp and shining white. The dentist kept himself well clear. He stood 2 yards away. He chose the longest probe he had to search out the decay. "I said to do the back ones first," the crocodile called out. "You're much too far away, dear sir, to see what you're about. To do the back ones properly, you've got to put your head deep down inside my great big mouth," the grinning Crocky said. The poor old dentist wrung his hands, weeping in despair. He cried, "No, no, I see them all extremely well from here." Just then in burst a lady, in her hands a golden chain. She cried, "Oh, Crock, you naughty boy, you're playing tricks again." "Watch out!" the dentist shrieked, and started climbing up the wall. "He's after me, he's after you, he's going to eat us all." "Don't be a twit," the lady said, and flashed a gorgeous smile. "He's harmless, he's my little pet, my lovely crocodile." I thought this poem was really silly, and it's rhyming, and my children love it. I thought it would be appropriate to share. So the activity that I chose is based on Roald Dahl's book, The Witches. This is an activity that is based on chapter 3, which is titled How to Recognize a Witch. The learning objectives is that children will be able to research and prepare presentations. So this would be a good activity for grades 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. The learning outcome is that they will be able to present research through a poster or an interview. A little note before this, a witchophile, which is what is in the book, is a person who studies witches and knows about them. So the lesson objective is that children will discuss and draw what they think a typical witch will look like. They can work in groups or as an individual, and they will share their ideas with the class. So this provides the foundation. So we will go over what witches look like, how they act. That way the whole class has a foundation on what a witch is. Starting the lesson, we would have read chapter 3, How to Recognize a Witch, and explain to the children that they're going to become witchophiles and that their job is to tell the world about witches. During this activity, children will pair off into groups where one will take on the role of a reporter and one will be the witchophile. They will have to come up with a series of questions to learn about what a witchophile does. The goal is to let the children is to let the world know how dangerous witches can be. Children will then present their interviews to class. Some of the other activities that can go along with this is creating a wanted poster of a witch, or assigning maybe a few groups. One is an actual witch and one is a reporter, or a supposed witch and then a reporter, and then they would have to come up with questions for the supposed witch. I think it's a very neat and fun activity. The book is just amazing. And I think that children would really love it, especially if you did this towards the beginning of school. If you started it, our school starts in August, some starts in September, but if you were to do this as a group read, by the time you got to Halloween, it would be really appropriate. Here are the sources that I used. I hope that you all enjoyed my presentation, and I hope that you have a chance to read some of Dahl's work.